You're tuned into the Changing Winds podcast, where bloodlines speak, bones remember, and no stories ask for permission to be told. I'm Alahanchi Molly. Pull up a chair or keep walking. I don't give a damn. Hey everyone, Changing Winds here. Uh, I said I wasn't going to do this, but I guess I am. So here's me in the everyday life. So I wanted to talk to you about something. And I'm going to try to be as blunt, but try to keep this where people can understand it. For the past couple days, we go to the store regularly. Usually we do it every day. But this last week, local Walmart had a nonprofit sitting outside their door, and the nonprofit is basically to stop bullying. And the guy tried to stop me and talk to me, and I said, I know how to stop a bully. And I said, he was like, sometimes you got to stick up to that bully. You have to stick up for yourself and stick up for somebody else. If somebody's bullying somebody and it's in the presence of me, I'm going to say something. Okay? For instance, I was bullied in school. My wife was bullied in school. I think everybody gets bullied in school. But if it comes on a regular basis from the same person, sometimes it's necessary to stand up to that bully. A person, if you allow somebody to bully you, then you have no self-respect for yourself. Now, I've been told that sometimes I've been a bully. It's not that I'm trying to be a bully. I'm trying to stand up for myself or stand up for someone else. There's a difference between bullying and standing up for yourself. Standing up for yourself is a reverse bully. A lot of people will sit there and just take it. I was one of those people. I would sit there and just take it. Well, as I've gotten older, I've realized that doesn't get you anywhere. If you sit there and take it, you're bullying yourself. And with all the crap going on in this world, it's the bullies right now. They're sitting around and flexing themselves, and pretty much, I'm pretty sure y'all know who I'm talking about. Sitting up there at the White House, throwing their freaking weight around, thinking that it's okay. It's not. Russia is bullying Ukraine, thinking that they can just go in there and do whatever the hell they want to. We got a president in the White House that thinks he can bully. J.D. Vance bullies. He's a piss poor ex-Marine. You don't just when they had Ukraine's president at the White House, that was bullying. But yet, let's kiss ass to Russia. The biggest bully in this freaking whole world. You have to stand up for yourself. You gotta stand for something or you'll fall for anything. I've been asked what will I not tolerate, and that's bullying. That is what happens, and you have to stand up for yourself, because nobody else in this fucking world is gonna stand up for yourself like you will. Like I said, there was a kid that bullied me all the time, and I wish I would have standed up to him. We had a bully at school, and nobody knew, and he bullied everybody. Nobody knew what he was going through. Right after we graduated, we found out that he had took his own life. And YouTube, don't try to censor me on this. We got word about it. And the reason he was being a bully is his dad had been suffering from cancer for a long time. And he didn't know how to let it out. And it came to school, it was anger. And once we graduated, I think technically his bullying is kind of, we should have been able to look and say, hey, something's wrong. And we didn't. We missed it. We missed it. And so, with us missing that, I wish we could have had a better take on it. I look back at it now, and I should have sat down. I should have stood up to him, but I also should have said, okay, what's going on, man? But he put on this facade like there was nothing wrong. But it turned out that he was expressing himself in the idea of making other people feel like crap. I wish I would have known that back then. Maybe I should have sat down with him and said, hey, what's your problem? Because bullying, angering, and things like that, there's a deeper root of it. There are some days that you will see me, and I'm frustrated as all get out. Most of the time, I'm hurting or something just... Like today, I woke up and I needed to change my darn insulin, my pump, all my supplies for it. And it was... I tried 4 different freaking times. Finally I got it, but I was getting frustrated because but that's the thing. Bullying comes out as frustration. Here comes the train. But seriously, sometimes you have to stand up to the bully. My daughter Stacy, I'm going to drop a video, and it's an animation video that I'm doing, and it's pinpointed to her. But you can take this with me explaining bullying. Stacy is one strong cookie. And I know that because her and her brother popped something off to him or her, and she fought back. Well, 4 years ago, when we still lived at our apartment, Stacy had a bully. Would not stand up, and it was a boy. It's always boys that pick on girls, and I try to tell her and explain this to her. Most of the time they're flirting. Most of the time they're flirting. But she did have this one kid that stood up to the bully for her all the time. But the person that's standing up for the person that's being bullied, it needs to come from the person being bullied too. They need to eventually say, okay, this person is standing up for me, but the bully's still bullying me. So you need to take that effort. Your person. And adults do get bullied. We get bullied all the time and we just don't realize it. We get bullied by social media people that sit there and like to prey on other people's problems and it contribute to them. But it's easy to ignore it online. Not so much in real life. It's not. But anyway, Stacy had a bully there. We moved back to my hometown and lo and behold, my aunt was a school bus teacher. Okay, or a school bus teacher, a school bus driver. Well, this was her old route. Well, I see how times haven't changed much because Stacy rides the same bus number as what the bus number that my aunt drove. And there's a kid on there that she'll get on the bus in the mornings, but she's got to the point to where she won't ride the school bus and then during the day after school. Which I'm lucky because I have one of my good friends from high school, of course. He's a custodian and he's Stacy's godfather. And I asked him, I said, hey, can you bring her home and stuff and chat with her? He's like, yeah, man, that's no problem. And I try to tell him, hey, look, man, see what's going on in her brain. Because sometimes as a dad, I overlook stuff. Steph overlooks stuff as a mom. We all do, and we all need somebody there to be able to talk to our kids for us, and then they can relay what's going on to us. And so Sonny has decided that he, and so he's been asking her out of the school. Come to find out, when I went to school, counselors were counselors. They did schedulings and stuff like that. I had a counselor in the 8th grade that was just awesome. He actually got me the opportunity to speak in front of my whole class on some things that were going on in my life, and I had to say something. But anyway, come to find out, the counselors don't even have any kind of degree in sociology or anything. Because he's asked, why aren't you counselors? You're supposed to be an advocate for the student. That's not their job anymore. Seriously? And when school shootings and shit happen, that you hear, especially in Texas, well, such and such, this happened, and we will have extra counselors on hand to cancel the students and the teachers. A counselor that has zero training, just like some of these freaking gurus have no medical training, no idea how the human mind works. A counselor they at least should have some kind of therapy background. And this shit's ridiculous. I'm not a doctor, and I talk about religion, but I'm not maybe I am. But you gotta have something. You have to, there's gotta be interest in what the hell, why humans act the way they do, or whatever. I mean, really? There's no kind of training? That's ridiculous. Last year, in her 6th grade year, her counselor gave her a lot of advice and actually expressed to her, because we had to talk to her about some stuff with Stacy. But 7th and 8th grade is some of the most worst years in your life. Even for people that don't have any kind of issues going on. 7th and 8th grade is I was glad to get into high school. But guys, step up. Teach your kids. There's a right way and there's a wrong way to stand up for yourself. And I've said this on many a times. Christianity kind of screwed that up for me too, because I was taught, no, you need to turn the other cheek in book. And now these Christians are saying, no, you gotta hit back. Well, I'm saying you gotta hit back to them. A true Christian, Jesus taught to turn the other cheek. Just like he's walking down the road with, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and somebody walks by and says, hey, she's a worker of the night, what do you do? And he's like, well, first person that's without fault, cast a stone. None of them could do it. Not even Jesus did. He just said, go and sin no more. Supposedly. So, you have to understand that, yes, Christ was right with that. But then, later on, he comes back and he's fired up, ready to take everybody's head off. Look, I don't condone violence. I really don't. I don't like it. I don't. But, and I've heard this echo through a lot of people that are ex-Christians like I am. And we're taught, you have to stand up. You have to teach your kids to stand up. You got to stand up. Because if you don't, nobody else is going to stand up. And when one person stands up about something, another one will stand up beside you. And another one, and another one, and another. Until something for the good turns out. Sorry, guys. Something was... Anyway. But teach your kids how to stand up. Sometimes it's just easy saying, I'm not going to put up with you, and just walk away. Walking away is shutting the bully down. You give them no chance. Now, sometimes that bully is right beside you and stays beside you. That's when you're like, okay, no. You have to make the right call. And sometimes that right call is to stand up. And I'm telling you guys, you need to stand up. The crap that's going on in our world today is because bullies have decided that they rule the world. And they don't. And they need to understand they don't. And the only ones that can stop them are the ones that know how to push back. You have to be able to say enough is enough. You have to. So, my advice, how to get rid of bullies, you stand up to them. You stand up to them. I understand the nonprofits. I understand on that side of things. You shouldn't have to have a nonprofit to stop bullying. The bullied need to stand up. Y'all have a good day. Ollie Hunty Molly here. I need a favor. Look, can you like it, dislike it, share it, or pretend you didn't see it? Just don't scroll in silence. Hit the subscribe, drop a comment, 7 words minimal to make them count. Oh, and if you get the taste, grab some merch. Links will be in the description. Support the story.